All right, we are joined by Joey Graven, David Peck, and Jeff the Cleaner. Merry Christmas, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Absolutely fantastic.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Hey, go ahead, Jeff the Cleaner. What do you have to offer?
The enigmatic Jeff the Cleaner made it out the closet just to wish all y'all great people a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas and do a little dance for you.
Outstanding.
Wow.
Outstanding.
That's fantastic. How lucky are we?
You bet. Jeff the Cleaner is the best when it comes in the hobby. He has I posted something about him a while ago, and he had so many hits on Twitter. It's unbelievable. But with that being said, and us having fun mascots, I sent a gift to Joey. I want you to break that online, Joey. I figured maybe this would be something that you could have when you come on our podcast in the future, like Jeff the Cleaner.
Oh, baby. Official Boogeyman merchandise.
Boogeyman Jr. for the Boogeyman. I figured it would go well.
That's badass. Thank you.
That is badass.
Wow.
Seriously.
So we got two mascots on our podcast now. But hey, to kick off Christmas and the holiday season, I'm going to let you guys each give your own shout out to the people who are great wrestling collectors and fans. Why don't you go ahead, Joey, and you give out your first shout out.
Okay, seriously, to like all of the guys out there, to like who are in the wrestling card hobby, like I'm so thankful for all of you guys. And I'm talking about my IndyCar guys like Tony O, Collecting with Caleb, Matt. I'm gonna butcher his last name, Delacus, or however you say it. And David Peck and Rob too, man, and the Cleaner, man, and Anthony and Mike. Like seriously, all you guys, like thank you for everything you do for the hobby, and happy holidays, Merry Christmas, much love.
Cool. Go ahead, David.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Merry Christmas. It's been 2023 has been a good year. We have a lot of fun, talking wrestling cards. You guys, your podcast has brought a lot to the hobby. You look at our episode we filmed before where Joey was lighting it up. That's it looks like the highest rated podcast of the year, at least from what I can see. And which is pretty cool. So no, I just want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Thanks for the participation, and hopefully everyone has a great 2024.
Go ahead, Mike.
Great.
So yeah, man. I mean, in all honesty, man, it's all love in the community. And like I say, and like I've always said, anything I've ever done, controversial or whatnot, strong opinions and whatnot, it's just to help everybody out. And I appreciate everybody, that participates in my Monday night threads. We've been getting that bumping. That's been going real strong now for a while. Obviously everybody that's on here, you guys have become some of my closest people. Joey, Dave, Husker, Anthony, and then just, everybody in general. There's way too many names to list. I mean, honestly, if I started going through names, I'd feel bad because I know I'd leave 2 to 3 out that, I'd want to thank anyways. So anybody that, is involved in it and involved in daily conversations on Twitter and just involved in the hobby and making it better, I appreciate every one of you guys. And yeah, 2024 is going to be a banger, and here's to, many more years of all of us being together and just having a great time, man. And, entertainment for, entertaining each other. You know what I mean? That's really what it's all about.
Yes, sir.
So looking back at 2023, the collecting aspect, the wrestling industry, the good, the bad, the drama, everything. Joey, what do you take from 2023 when you look back from you personally? What's some of the things that you'll remember most about that time frame?
What will I remember most about this past year? Okay, so honestly, for this past year, I will say the continued ascension of graded vintage cards. Okay, they're solid money every time out, it seems. And honestly, new product wise, this past year, like I love the metal, man. The PMGs, love the PMGs, love the lore. Like I've really enjoyed the cards that AEW and Upper Deck have put out. That's what I've probably been most into as far as new stuff this year. Still like trying to chase Dave with the Wrestling All Stars. You know, the good stuff rarely comes up anymore. We'll see. You know, but you gotta stay working. You know.
David, what do you think?
Well, 2023 was not a major year for me as far as buying. I was been dealing with some health issues this year, and just been a little, a lot more focused on that. But have also been kind of more focused on the content side. We've had a lot of fun, just kind of like Mike the Cleaner said, the banter back and forth online. Um, you know, I think people forget that there was a long time where there was really virtually nowhere where you could talk about wrestling cards with a lot of other wrestling collectors. Like, I mean, early on in the
I would interject to that, David. I would say probably really, and I know you were a pretty big part of that. The only place for the longest time really was Collector's Universe, right?
Blowout.
well, Blowout, actually, we probably had a little more discussion that because they have segmented categories there, right? So like they have a wrestling category. The Collectors Universe forum, I mean, a huge chunk of those people were really pissed off that I would constantly talk about the wrestling cards. They petitioned PSA to have them removed from that forum, and I just kind of kept charging ahead. But no, so we've actually, for the good, bad, like people try to focus on the drama and act like that's some big ordeal, which I don't really think it is. I mean, if you look at Blowout, just for argument's sake, I mean, some of their basketball forums, baseball, there's always been bickering. Anytime there's money involved, anytime there's competition, different opinions, etc. So we've had, in my opinion, a lot of great conversations online this year. I also echo Joey's sentiments. I really think that having these independent cards pop up and really make a push, I think that's probably the most healthy development we've seen for wrestling cards in a long time because, I liken them to more like minor league cards in the sense that, like you can track somebody's journey from well in advance before they were whoever they were, right? So I'm hoping 2024. I'm hoping to get back to submitting some cards and maybe hopefully try to acquire some things. But this year has been, like I said, kind of a light year for me buying. But I've had a great time hanging out with all you guys and just appreciate the camaraderie. And I think we've got a really cool thing going.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Go ahead, Mike.
So kind of to piggyback on Joey a little bit, I love, people want to say what they're going to say about Upper Deck and AEW, but I mean, I love what they've been doing. Like I said, the metal set is beautiful. These 16-bit cards that people are saying, like,
Yeah.
my thing with those is like, I'm 42 years old and I gamed on the Super Nintendo and Genesis. And if you played any of those games, WWF Raw, any of those, that's what their faces look like. Those are like hugely nostalgic to me. And I will be buying several of them. So I love them. I love in general what's been going on with the different inserts they put out. They're very original.
Yeah.
It's not the same stuff over and over again. In general, I mean, 2023 is just, I mean, you saw the down spiral of everything, and now we're at the end where, Panini and whatever are having their issues, you know what I mean, Fanatics, and I feel like 2024 is just going to be much brighter for everything wrestling card wise and a lot more product coming out. But in general, yes, the indie cards I feel like have taken indie cards and some of these sales for these vintage cards have really surprised me. So in general, man, 2023 was, just meeting more people with the same hobbies, the same interests, and just kind of kicking it on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, and having fun, bro. That's what it's all about to me. This is a hobby. You know what I mean? This is to have fun. This is to kind of get away from your work day life and your everyday grind life. You know what I mean? This is what we do to have a good time and shit. And yeah, man, I have a blast doing it. And you know, you guys are a huge part of that, because you know, without you guys, I'd be kicking it myself with Jeff the cleaner in the closet. Like
You love that though. You love
know
that.
I mean,
Mike, I just want to say, Mike, I'm glad that the two of you came out of the closet. It was a good thing for the hobby.
According to some people, I mean, we've been trapped in there for quite a while. So I don't know.
So going forward, 2024, Joey, we'll start with you. What are you hoping to see in 2024? Whether it's new products, different storylines in the industry, your own personal collection, your own goals. What are you hoping for 2024?
I'm hoping that Rich Franklin can keep finding some unopened 83 sets and like hook me up with some nice PSA 10s. I mean, he seems to pull like amazing cards out of nowhere. So like, I'm hoping he helps me catch Dave. Like, you know, I've got obscene amounts of money I'd like to spend. You know, that's your boy. I mean, seriously, like outside of that, man, like, you know, it's really amazing to me, like how every other sport, you know, seems to be struggling a little bit. In wrestling cards, man, we're still doing really well, you know,
compared to other stuff. Yes,
exactly. That's what I'm talking about right there, right? So, I mean, I just hope, you know, the stuff with Fanatics and Topps, I hope that works in a positive direction. And they put out affordable premium products that we can buy without, you know, breaking the bank.
Right,
you know?
right.
It's fun to rip stuff, but like, I mean, come on, man. I mean, $1,100, $1,200 a box for stuff is ridiculous.
Right.
You know? Ridiculous for anybody. You know, so hopefully we're in a good position with that. Hopefully AEW and Upper Deck can get their releases to come out in an appropriate time frame. I think we're in good shape though, man. I really do. Like, I mean, I think wrestling cards themselves, you know, we're growing. We're in good shape. You know, 2024 is going to be even better, man. So.
Yeah, on that, I to piggyback what you said, Joey, to Topps, if any of you ever listen to our podcast, please do a Stadium Club wrestling set. I would love to see that. And then the other one is do freaking Bowman with NXT and all the rookies that are always coming up.
You're stealing my ideas now.
No, we credit. No, I 100% credit that to you, Mike, because that was your idea.
I want my cut of all that when they finally start to do that. You know?
That's cool. I just had to throw that out there, Mike. Hey, what about you, David? What's your thoughts?
Well, this is my 15th year actively collecting the Wrestling All-Stars. So I'm hoping that maybe, you know, something will surface I need. You know, I think one of the things that, Joey doesn't like that idea. You know, look, I mean, people got to understand when you've been collecting this stuff a long time, it's like a battleship. You know, it's very, very hard to turn the ship and get, you know, any real traction. And so we'll see. You know, I've had collecting wrestling cards has been a godsend to me because it's given me something that's provided me a lot of entertainment. You know, financially, there's been some benefit. I've met a lot of cool people. I mean, if you actually look at the people I stay in the most contact with, it's my wrestling card bros, as I would call them. So, you know, there's been a tremendous benefit from being in the hobby. And, you know, hopefully, like I said, I would love to, you know, procure some, you know, maybe a couple of cards I don't have in a higher grade. I am actually hoping that the WWE Fanatics partnership, I think that has the potential to have some big legs. One of the things I think people have to keep in mind is Fanatics has a ridiculously high valuation. It's something like $30 billion. I mean, we're
$30 billion company.
It's a very, you know, like that. Those numbers can change a lot because what they are is, those are when they raise capital and it's the valuation that new investors are buying in. But let me tell you something. They've got Wall Street behind them. They've got, when you think about the marketing machine that exists now online with the Goldens, with the Heritage, with the grading companies, we've got an opportunity to see a lot more eyeballs on wrestling. And I also think that, Fanatics is very possible, can work closely with WWE to do some cool stuff. So I'm optimistic for 2024. I think, the shakeout the last couple of years with the Panini releases, I said on a recent podcast, I think on the margin, Panini's been great for the hobby, but there obviously was some fallout from it. But Fanatics is a fresh start. Hopefully they make some good stuff. And, I think on the market front in general, I mean, people are still really interested in wrestling cards. A lot of the sort of everyday stuff, the prices have been falling just like it has everywhere else. But man, our Primos stuff, I mean, you can't win it easily. I know that not everybody's a fan of Gary Vee. I respect him from the standpoint that he helped put wrestling cards on the map. But when you got guys stepping up to the plate and spending almost 10 grand on an 87 Topps Bret Hart PSA 10, that tells you there's some big fish that are in the pond. And so on the margin, I think we're in a good spot.
Yes, sir.
David, I was going to ask you, because I've kind of noticed lately, some of your lower end wrestling all-stars, when I say lower end, I mean like not your big stars like your Hogan or your Andres, but even some of your other no-name guys, they're still catching pretty decent money for those type of cards, whether graded or ungraded. Have you noticed that trend continuing to climb?
Well, and Joey can relate to this as well. Years ago, we didn't want a PSA 8. Part of the reason I had a lot of cards to continue to submit the last handful of years was if it was 9, 10 or bust. I mean, we that's just the facts. Now, Andre Hogan, Flair, you can kind of put that to the side a little bit, but not entirely. But take a Bruno Sammartino 8. That's all of a sudden a $250, $300 card, and that would have been like a $6 card, 10 years ago. Okay, $14 card, right?
Yeah,
right.
So what we've seen happen is I think that the market understands that a lot of those cards in an 8 is still a very attractive card. So yeah, we've seen some good demand there. I think the other thing that's and I know that a lot of folks, they like to throw around the word hoarder and gatekeeper and so on. One of the drawbacks is guys like me and Joey have multiple copies. And so it is hard for people to to get their foot in the door on some cards or some of the sets. But I think the reality of it is that both him and I share an extreme passion for the set. One from a collecting standpoint, but also we love historical professional wrestling. So
Right.
To me, it's really nice to to have that. So I think what you're seeing in general is that there is no other set that basically screams professional wrestling than the Wrestling All-Stars. Because not that new stuff isn't cool. I mean, let's face it, they've got all kinds of big names. But you really, when you think about 1982 in the wrestling business and where we were at as far as the territory system and where Vince was about to take everything, that set is launched right in the middle of his dad handing over the reins, right? It was Vince Sr.'s idea with George Napolitano. And so it just has all the nostalgia and so many of the big names that you could ever want. So yeah, I think that the demand's still there. The challenge is that we're in a lull right now where, if you've got an Andre 6, it's not doing as well as it was a couple months ago. But some of that, I think, is the holiday season.
Yeah.
Some of that is, I think, the economy. Let's face it, not every, I'm trying to think. Oh, it's Daddy Fat Stacks. Not everybody's Daddy Fat Stacks. So yeah, when you get to the last few months of the year, first few months of the year, I think the card market in general faces challenges. People are buying Christmas presents. People are paying their taxes. It's not necessarily the strongest time, but I think and I said this the other day, once you get into March, usually the card market gets a lift. So I think we're going to see some of that in the next few months.
Hey, can I ask one question? Seriously, I want to ask Dave a question. If there could be, any wrestling all-stars from like 82, 83 that does not exist, pick one wrestler that you would choose that would have a card. What's your answer?
I'm going to go with Roddy Piper. And
you know what? No, I would. That's mine too, Piper.
Well, I'll tell you why, Joey, because he makes the most sense at the time, right?
Absolutely.
Like in 82, everybody says Randy Savage. Well, Randy Savage, he really wasn't where he was at in 80. By 84,
sure.
Savage was a big name. Now, Abdul the Butcher's maybe another one that certainly would have belonged, but I think Piper.
Oh no, that Piper card would be humongous, man. And he is somebody that absolutely should have been in there in 83 at the very least, for sure.
I'm shocked that his 85 doesn't get more love, to be honest.
Oh, it's still building.
Yeah, okay. And absolutely, just like Dave said, it's still building. But to me, the problem, because I'll be honest with you guys, I've got like 4 of those magazines still never been touched. But to me, the problem with that set, as Dave will probably agree, like the fact that they went from, first of all, perforated, they're never coming out good. Okay,
right.
And then so the PSAs like wavering from hand cut to like perforated. That's the thing that's hurt that set. It's still amazing.
Yeah. Well, so what a lot of people don't realize happened is years ago, Rob and I were dealing with PSA and said, listen, you can't get these out of here perforated, right?
Right.
And there's some that show perforations, and I think there's some funny business there. That's just my opinion. I think that's why they switched to hand cut. It happened several years ago when there was, sort of the trimming scandal in the hobby, and there just, was PSA did the 80s, the Monty set, all of a sudden became hand cut too. Like they just, anything that they knew people had cut, they did a shift, right?
Yeah.
But so here's the deal. The problem with those cards is that, number one, none of us actually know how to get a number grade, because you'll submit 2 of them and they look the same, and one gets a grade, the other one gets authentic. But the perforations, I mean, George Napolitano told me point blank that there was no attempt to have those where you could tear them apart. They were just kind of thinking you'd keep them as a sheet. I think the perforations were just to kind of like a dot, to kind of like separate them on the sheet, Yeah. So, but those are, what I do love about that set is guys like the Missing Link. What's the guy? He just died. He had a gay character.
Adrian Adonis?
Adrian Street. No, Adrian Street.
No, Adrian Street. But there's some really, like, when I say far out there, Brad Armstrong. You got some guys around the edges, like Brad Armstrong was a stud. And, so
the best workers ever. Seriously.
I mean, and if you've seen it, like his dad, I mean, his biceps were insane. He had tremendous genetics. But I think the challenge with the All-Stars, like the Piper, the reason he would have been so perfect is if you go back to 82, 83, he was in Georgia Championship Wrestling. He would have made sense. But I think what happened is if you look at 82, You've got Ted DiBiase and Steve Olszkanowski. I think I said that wrong. They were the GCW guys in there. And then in '83, you had Super Destroyer, Big John Studd. So I don't know. And actually, I think the real reason is if you look at the wrestling news magazines, I don't recall ever seeing a Piper photo in there. And I think it has more to do with who they had pictures of that they could highlight.
Hey, piggybacking to what you were talking about, David, one thing that I thought would have been interesting if Wrestling All Stars had included them would have been a tag team cards. How cool would it have been to have a Fabulous Freebirds from that era, something along those lines?
Well, there sort of is one when you look at the '84 calendar. Yeah,
right. But I'm just saying, because a lot of people bypass that calendar and they'll just think of the cards themselves, even though there's some cool guys in the calendar. But even if you could have had individual cards, I mean, a couple tag teams in there, I think would have been amazing. Would have really set that even higher as far as the set is concerned.
Okay, as somebody who's actually seen the Iron Claw movie, holy shit! Like, man, like, dude. Like, that's the one thing that, like, they cut so much stuff out of the movie. Like, if they could have done a mini series, it would have been so much better.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Hey, you guys! I want to welcome Rich into our group. Rich, welcome to our
hey guys,
Christmas holiday podcast. First thing I want to do is have you give a shout out to your fans and everybody, a Christmas greeting or whatever you want to throw out there. Go ahead.
Hello, it's your boy. Come on, Rich.
One second.
Roll, baby. I don't know what he's doing.
So while he's doing that, so Joey, was the Iron Claw good or?
Okay, like I'll tell you like my real quick opinion. If you're a wrestling fan, if you go see it, what you're going to focus on is everything that's wrong with it. Bro, there's absolutely 100% no mention of Chris Von Erich. None.
Wow.
Okay? That bothered me. That really bothered me. If you don't know, like my wife went to see it with me. My wife loved it. Saying that, it's so sad, bro. Like, it's like you go to see it, you're gonna be on the down when you come out. Right? But if it does not get nominated for an Oscar for hair and makeup, bro, it's getting robbed. Like, it's you know what would have been cool, Joey. I'm surprised someone did it. Is someone make a trading card set for the movie? God, how neat would that been? I said the same. I told my wife the same thing.
That could be something I could see Upper Deck AEW do now that they got the young Von Erichs in.
Yeah, they ought to do something like that. I think that'd be amazing. Hey, Rich, are you back on now with us?
I hope so. You guys hear me?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead and give out a Christmas holiday greetings to anyone you want to give a shout out to.
Just give a shout out to everybody in the hobby who makes it interesting, especially Mike.
Here for life.
Hey, Rich, I was gonna ask you this question. I asked the other guys already. Looking back at 2023, I know you're what I consider our Japanese expert. What do you take away from 2023 in regards to cards, the hobby, or the industry? What are you going to remember most about 2023?
Seeing the hobby gain a lot of momentum where other hobbies have kind of took a dip. Baseball, basketball, they got their hobby guys, but their values you saw the trend of the value going down, especially with big cards. Wrestling, you really didn't see that with big cards. They continue to still steadily climb. And I think that's just going to continue because of supply and demand. Wrestling doesn't have the supply that the other sports do.
What are you seeing over in Japan? Are you seeing more sets coming out? Are you seeing more interest kind of like you did here in 2023?
You can definitely tell more people are interested in the cards. Mainly individual collectors. Wrestler coming over from Japan and wrestling in the States. Anybody that maybe will just make a guest appearance in the States and then go back to Japan. People kind of intrigued and want those cards. You see definitely more people are interested as opposed to just a WWE AEW card. And I think that'll keep going, I think.
I would say I know this was something that came out a couple years ago. The Zima product. I really like the fact that you're starting to see, food promotions and different things like that getting cards in Japan. I kind of hope they're going to start doing something like that more in the United States again.
Yeah, they're still doing it in Japan. They did a beef jerky promotion. You got a box of beef jerky and there's a card in there.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's very, Zima.
Do you have some of those cards?
I do, actually.
You don't have any there you can put on screen so we can see them, because I haven't even seen those yet.
Yeah, come on, boy. Holler at your boy.
I don't have them in.
I mean, holler at your boy, seriously.
If you got like 1 or 2 seconds, I can grab them out of the box.
Yeah, grab them. I want to see those. There's something new. I got to see it.
That's what AEW is doing a great job of. Even though Ring of Honor used to bring in, with their World Wars and all their, their pay-per-view events and stuff. I used to go to them when they were out here and stuff like that. They would bring in the New Japan guys. But that wasn't like Ring of Honor wasn't a show that many people saw or watched or stuff like that. With AEW, it's a mainstream, it's on the main channel. They're bringing over these stars from Japan. So they're really getting the Japan cards. They've gone crazy. That what's the girl's name? Gila or what's her name? Their champion.
Okay. No shit. Let me tell you all a true story.
Insane.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they're going for crazy money.
Okay. So Kevin Gus or whatever, the guy that makes the cards. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, so that guy, he did like a set, like his most recent set. Okay. The Julia, who apparently is she's very important.
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck she is. That's okay. She's
the NJPW champion, I think.
Okay, whatever, dude. Okay, so Julia, no, and I'm not trying to discount it. That's not what I'm doing. The most recent Kevin Gus set, the Julia, I got the 1-of-1. Thank you, okay? Bro. To me, she's. Bro, I don't know who the fuck she is. I'm just being honest. I don't know who she is, bro.
When she shows up in the States to start wrestling, you're gonna have
I already told it, bro. Come on. There was somebody who was on, bro. There was somebody as soon as I posted it online. Come on, bro. There was somebody on top of that shit. I mean, like the minute I sent a photo out of so my point is like New Japan, like the women's wrestling, bro. There's people on top of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm not probably on top of it, but bro, there's people that's really on. Rich probably knew I had that card, and if he didn't, a couple other people did. I'm just being honest. I'm being real.
There are some stalkers out there for Japanese cards.
Yes,
100%, or just women's cards in general.
Yes, women's cards definitely.
Yeah.
Hey, that sweater on that bottle would probably work on Boogeyman.
Oh, geez.
You know what? You are probably right.
So one quick thing that I'd like to see in 2024, because I'm going to get out of here, is one thing I don't know if you guys remember or know about this. Or there was very few of them out there, to be honest with you, and I'm surprised they don't sell for more. But in select AEW action figure lines, they included a pack of cards, of 3 cards.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're yellow border variants.
Yes.
Okay. So those yellow border variants, I think the great thing about that is, and they should do more of this, even I feel like WWE should do this, Fanatics should do this, is include autographs that you can have a chance to pull an autograph of that. Not only is that going to make the figure line sell better, but it's going to turn figure fans into possibly a wrestling card collector. Because Can you imagine just buying a figure and pulling an autograph card of MJF, and you bought a figure? That's going to instantly turn. Oh my God, this card's worth $300. Let me look more into cards. Let me see what these are about. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's a great aspect to getting more eyes on the product too. So,
that's
perfect.
That's perfect. Boogeyman has an ugly Christmas sweater for the.
I'm just
for the holidays.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
Anyways, though, happy holidays, all my guys. I appreciate all you guys, everybody. I'm gonna get going here, and
Monday night thread, baby. Monday night thread.
You already know. You already know. Be there. All right.
Thanks, Mike. We'll catch
Hey,
you in the
Mike.
new year.
Yeah, Mike.
Okay.
So,
I want to be
going
honest.
back to you. Going back to you, Rich. Show us that card quick.
Rich,
All
baby.
right. So they're considered like cheekies, like the Polaroid. There's a 10-card set that was with the meat sticks. That's the backs on all of them.
Cool.
That's dope. Shit, that's dope.
Yeah, it's basically the big names: Okada, Tanahashi, Sonata, the champ, Naito.
Man, Naito, baby.
Nice.
And then the set that came out previous to that was another giveaway at one of the convenience stores there. These are like the big chase out of them, which are prisms.
Oh, they're cool.
It's a 21 card set, so the wrestlers all have 3 cards. The prisms are really neat. I did see somebody recently just posted a SGC 10 of the Okada.
Now, what did those come out of?
These were at the convenience store, Lawson convenience stores in Japan. These were same thing where you specially mark packages of stuff. You got a card, and luck of the draw.
I heard something where they did a promo that had cards inserted in packs of. Don't quote me on this. I think it was rice cakes or something like that. That's not what those were they? Or was that something different?
It wouldn't have been. It would have this. These would have been out of potato sticks.
Gotcha.
That's what these were out of.
Oh.
And
Okay,
then
hold on, just to make sure like everybody understands what he's talking about. Bro, seriously, like what are you talking about?
the potato strings that come in a package. You go to a bar and it's.
I've never been to a bar where that's.
I describe potato sticks because you'd get these over in Europe. I describe potato sticks as a French fry version of a potato chip. Isn't that what you'd call it, Rich?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So they make them in different flavors like barbecue, sour cream and onion, like that kind of stuff. And I know.
Don't you remember the Andy Cap ones they used to make?
Exactly, Andy Cap.
Andy Cap's.
You remember those, Joey?
No.
Where did you grow up?
No. Come on, let's be real. Let's be real. Like, come on. I know, bro. I don't remember that. I don't. Like, Andy Cap. Dude, that's like a Sunday comic, right?
Right. Yeah. And he had a line of potato stick chips.
Yeah, bro. Today's Tuesday. It's not Sunday, bro. I'm just being real with you. Real, like today's Tuesday. It's not Sunday. Okay, but for real, like, okay. On Sunday.
So those bags of potato sticks, there's a silver pack attached to them, and it has a little New Japan logo on it, and you have a card in those packs, and that's where those cards came from.
And Julia has a card in those packs?
Not in these. These are just strictly New Japan. Julia has cards in the New Japan and Stardom cross promotion they did. 30-card set. The majority of them, like the 21 cards, are the guys, and the 9 cards are the girls.
Okay, so being honest, right? I've never seen Julia wrestle. Like, in your opinion, Rich, how is Julia?
Julia would be top 5 in WWE.
Really?
Wow. Yes. And she speaks English too.
Wow, that makes a big difference.
She'll make a lot of money, brother.
What makes her stand out? Is she like a high flyer? Like, what's her sort of angle?
She can do anything. She stands out only because She has a look. She has a presence. Everything about her just screams like main event. And the big to do with her was she came over from a little promotion. She basically broke her contract and went to Stardom. And
what
that was
promotion? No, what promotion? What promotion?
Ice Ribbon. So she left Ice Ribbon and showed up at Stardom, and people were like, she's still under contract, like, but she just basically left. And so
Bro,
like,
hey, hold on, like dead serious?
yes.
Hey, if you would have said DDT, I would have said, oh, okay. But Ice Ribbon?
Oh yeah.
I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. But that's okay.
There's like, Joey, there's like 8 to 10, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 8 to 10 professional, legit Japanese wrestling circuits over in Japan. And so when you hear when you hear like New Japan, that's like WWE in Japan. But you'll have all these other ones that are just like AEW or TNA here in the States also.
Okay, yes. But let me point out something to you, and I'm dead serious, and I'm being real. Okay, right now we're number 1 in recruiting. Okay, but I don't understand what the fuck. Like, okay, so what is she right now? She's number 3.
She's the top. Well, I mean, if she's at Stardom, she's number 1 at Stardom.
Thank you. So
in other words, Joey, what Rich is telling you is buy if you're investing in future talent.
Thank you. That's what I was
right. And isn't that what you would say, Rich?
Yes, definitely. Yep.
And especially if the rumors are true that she's going to end up in WWE pretty soon. I don't know.
Rich,
I've read that.
On the real, when am I going to see Julia in – no, I mean, I'm serious. When am I going to see Julia in WWE?
June.
If her contract's up, it's probably going to be in the spring sometime. So then you're looking at probably – summertime. She's gonna go to. They're gonna send her to NXT first. It's gonna happen.
There you go.
That'll be.
Yep. And then Tops will be producing their Bowman draft, like Mike said, and you'll have her first card for WWE in that product.
There you go.
Fingers crossed.
Let me ask you a question. Are these cards like? Do they have low supply, or is there going to be a ton of them hit eBay? What are your thoughts?
Bushiroad is known to not produce their cards in a mass production. There's enough supply out there for a month. They put them. They're basically retail, but they dry up and then that's it. You never see them again. So if you find a pack or you find a box, like it's pretty hard to find after a couple months.
And have you worked with any of the grading companies to get some of these graded?
I have not, but I have seen them graded. There's a few guys that do with PSA. Some of the other Julia stuff that's come out with the current product. They did. I saw a few 10s actually. They're really nice. But then the other one I've seen SGC also grade them too. So that they are starting to get more popular out here to get graded.
Okay. Well, the thing is, the bottom line is grading is what it takes to make a card. So as much as I understand not everybody's a grading person, you want to catapult the value, there needs to be grading involved.
And the really, really nice thing about most of the Japanese cards, especially the ones that are in like products like a potato sticks or whatever, most of them are rounded corners. They're not regular straight edge corners, so grading on them is a lot easier as opposed to just a regular basic 4-corner card.
Gotcha. So it's going to be a 10 or bust kind of type scenario.
Yeah. The surface on them you can see the scratches through the gloss. So that does make it a little tougher. But the quality of the cards are a lot better than what they are produced here, to be honest.
Can I ask you a question? I mean, I'm dead serious. Like, okay, so because what I want to know, like as a wrestling card collector, Rich, what got you into collecting women's wrestling cards?
I've never sought out to be just a strictly women wrestling card collector. I just started out like, Japanese wrestling cards in general. mainly for autographs. I collect WWE and AEW autographs, certified autographs, not in person, and they're cool, but I like the pack pulled ones.
Yeah.
And it just through time with New Japan getting more popular and DDT getting popular and All Japan, like I was like, I wonder if there's Muda autographs in Japan. And then when I started discovering all these different cards, I was like, man, this is like a brand new world. Like I gotta go into this. So I just started buying ones I wanted, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. And
Rich, let me ask you one more question then. Okay, so I know if you've seen those, you've seen the last week's Supreme Great Muda release, right?
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
It's nice. I mean,
now, did you yourself buy a shirt or a sweatshirt or a hoodie?
I did not know.
Really?
I'm not. I don't go after the shirts and hats and everything. I'm a basic. I like cards. I've always liked cards. They're easier to store. I mean, I have some photos behind me that I got signed in person, but
they're beautiful.
I'm a card collector at heart. That's what I started at as a kid, and that's where I'm still at.
Right on.
So, Rich, the other question that we had asked was looking forward to 2024. What is some of your hopes for the industry, more product, different things, especially from the Japanese side? What are you hoping to see in 2024?
Hopefully, just more releases, more publicity, more. Just get it out into the hands of more people. BBM they release their stuff, but it's very rare. Like they put out 2 products a year, and it's like, maybe get more of the individual companies to start putting their own releases out. Even if they're only available at the show, at least they're getting out there like they did back in the.
Do you know in the Japanese ranks some of the different divisions, they have to see the uptick in collecting and the people wanting product? Have you heard, or some of them now talking about making their own sets, maybe boxes and packs, that kind of thing? Do you know anything about that?
Not as much as with cards, but you see them catering their websites to foreigners as opposed to just Japanese only. I looked the other day, New Japan has their English site. I believe All Japan has an English site too for ordering stuff online. Stardom has an English site. So they're starting to cater to more of a global base instead of just at home. And that's a start for them. Hopefully it just continues on with more and more products. The one thing I have seen is the acrylic cards, where it's an acrylic card set inside a holder that you can connect to it. I bought a few. They're not really cards. It's like a matte looking picture that's basically inside of an acrylic holder. And then you have a stand to display it. It's not really a trading card at all.
So David, I asked the 2024 question to Rich. I know you haven't had a chance to answer that yet. Why don't you give us your thoughts on what you're hoping for 2024? Whether in the hobby or in the wrestling industry itself, what's your feelings going forward?
Well, I mean, right now wrestling in general is hot. As an industry, it's had its ups and downs over the years, but if you look at the engagement online, it's off the charts. Whether it's AEW, whether it's WWE, whether it's a lot of these other promotions, whether it's New Japan that he's talking about. So wrestling right now is in a good spot, and I think that I would like to see WrestleMania 40 needs to be huge, right? I think that I guess I'd probably like to see The Rock versus, say, Roman Reigns. I think that would be pretty awesome. Just the thing about wrestling, at WrestleMania, is you want to see just shit that's just wild, right? The pageantry is the word I was looking for. And so a Rock Roman Reigns would be a just kind of one of those matchups where it's like, I don't know, it'd be kind of legendary. I think, what would be also cool is hopefully at some point they'll have a WWE Hall of Fame, like a physical place, right? Like, I think that would be awesome because, there's just so much neat stuff out there. Like, there's a guy, and I would, shame on the WWE's show for only offering the guy like 60 grand, but Ric Flair's 83 robe, like they offer the guy 60 grand for it. I can't even imagine, but it would be fun if there was a Hall of Fame where they, had all that stuff where you could go and see and stuff. But no, I think, listen, I mean, my hope next year, honestly, is I hope the world isn't as chaotic. I think with an election coming up, there's definitely going to be some turbulence. But my hope is that just in general that we have like sort of a good economy or an okay economy, and because people got to understand. I mean, cards, they're not a necessity, right? And so you've got to have a somewhat vibrant economy to have a vibrant card market. So I'm hoping that that's the case next year. As far as for me personally, we talked about it earlier. Look, let's try. I would love to just find some stuff I don't have. So
yeah, I would say one thing that you mentioned that I really hope comes to light someday is an actual physical Hall of Fame. As many people who follow me on Twitter know, I drove up to Seattle recently, and we drove through Wyoming, and we got to stop at the Buffalo Bill Cody Western Museum in Cody, Wyoming, and they have one of the largest collection of guns there. And there's just stuff there. When you go to a Hall of Fame or a museum like that, it don't matter how much you think you'll go there and you'll see stuff that you didn't even realize exists. And I would love to be able to go through a WWE Hall of Fame and just see so much stuff that even as a kid I probably missed back then, and then you actually physically get to see it. So yeah, that's one of the places that would be top of my bucket list. If WWE finally would actually make a physical Hall of Fame, it would be amazing.
And they have just stuff in the warehouse too. It's sitting there, just
a ton of stuff too. Yeah.
Well, just imagine like seeing an Andre the Giant boot like in a case, right? Like when I don't know if it's size 22 is what it is, but his shoe is huge. And just imagine
they could have that boot next to a couple of other boots of famous wrestlers, and you'd really understand the overall size of him and the impact.
Or like, you remember the in the AWA days when Mean Gene Okerlund like tried on his jacket, it's like down to his knees or whatever. Yeah, I just think there's a lot of us that can't like even begin to relate. Like I weigh like a little over 170 pounds, right? Can you imagine weighing 550 pounds or having hands like the size of my face? I mean, it's just wild. So I think the like a physical Hall of Fame would just be so cool from just, getting to see Madison Square Garden has the Roddy Piper boots. I saw online, it's just neat. Joey's doing some show off. Is that a Brad Armstrong?
Yes, sir. Brad Armstrong. That's right, baby. Hey, first of all, where am I at? I'm in Alpha
Georgia. ATL, baby.
ATL, baby. Brad Armstrong, absolutely 100% one of the best workers of all time. Okay? No matter what you use, Brad Armstrong is one of the best, baby. So, and everything that Dave says is correct, man. But I'm just saying, like, if some of those cards come for auction,
we're back to well, I'll tell you, Joey, the good news is that that I'm flush right now too. So
come on. No. Let's no. No, let's be real. Okay, and we can debate, but like whatever cards, bro, What are you willing to do, bro? You're educated. You're educated. You're gonna at the end of the day, you're gonna dispute what's between right and wrong. I'm gonna win, bro. I'm gonna win because I'm gonna win what's not gonna win.
Yeah. I have a question for especially for Joey and for David. Do you guys have a point where you're like, this is like too crazy of money where it's like I would sell that. I would sell a card because it's just ridiculous money.
Nope. If I get a chance to defeat this guy right here, I'm gonna win. There is no way. There is no way. There is no way at the end of the day, if there's no back channels involved, if there's simply somebody trading between, if there's simply somebody deciding between, I'm gonna make the most or I'm gonna fucking piss off the least, bro. ATL is always gonna win every day of the week.
Wow.
I think because I'm gonna tell you something. Whatever he'll spend, I'll spend 3 times as much. He's being real.
Well, that is actually, Joey's a little bit accurate in the sense that I'm more inclined to rationalize the cost. But I would just say this, that if you look, I mean, I in 2021, I did part ways with a couple cards just because the opportunity presented itself and I just sort of did it. But I mean, if you take the Wrestling All-Stars cards, there's a reason none of them have moved. You've never seen me sell. I've never once downgraded my collection ever. And admittedly, that would be an all or none kind of scenario. There's no reason to dismantle. Like Gary Vaynerchuk some years back was trying to get me to sell him my junkyard dog. Why would I do that? What would be the benefit of breaking up my set to just get a few bucks for one card? I mean, if you bought the whole thing, which I'm not suggesting is going to happen, but okay, there's some value there, right? But I'm not going to just break off, pieces. Now, Joey's accurate. I have bowed out to him in the past, where he's a kamikaze and he'll get that puppy going, and at some point I'm like, holy shit, I could have bought my wife a new purse, or that money would be better off in my retirement account. But we'll see. We're down to the nitty gritty. I mean, it's hard to move. Our sets are like battleships, like I said earlier. It's hard to move them. So I don't actually have to buy that many cards. So, there is one, and Joey was on the sidelines for a little time, but man, the one card I so regret, I wish just the timing was different, the Harley Race PSA 10. Ray from Hawaii owns it, and I mean, it is a 10. There's a new guy that's surfaced lately that's, taking all these pot shots at the quality of the cards, which I just find to be laughable. But whatever the case may be, when this Harley Race popped up, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, I mean, it's a 10. Like, you look at it and you're, because I have actually, listen, I don't always agree with PSA's grade. I mean, the Wahoo McDaniel Pop 110, I didn't bid as high because I thought, hey, I'm not so sold on this being a 10. The Harley Race PSA 10 is just an unbelievable card, and if that thing came up for auction, I can't even imagine what Joey would do. So,
well, I would just be completely honest with you. I would make sure you didn't win it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to be completely honest. Okay.
But most important thing.
Okay. Most important thing. Okay. There's one human being, David Peck, who knows how we get there. Okay. All of you other guys, y'all don't know how we get there. But me and D, we know how we get there. Trust me, if something comes up for like a legitimate auction, there's no way he wins. He knows that. No, Dave knows that. Dave knows because Dave knows that at some point Dave has to become responsible. I'm being real.
Honestly, that's you know what the best part about this is. I agree with you.
Because Dave knows I don't have to be responsible.
Yeah, you don't. No, but actually, the beauty of it is I don't. I barely spent any money on cards last year.
Yeah,
So,
no, you're right. No, I know, bro. I know.
Yeah. So if I need to pony up, we're good. No, but the best part about all this is
No, bro.
is that no, but Joey and I have had a friendly competition for a long time, and what I am really the most happy about all this is we could sit here and take shots at each other and smile and have a good time because listen, at the end of the day, it is just a hobby. I've never made any bones about it. I continue to want to have the #1 Wrestling All-Stars collection in the world. There's, it is what it is. And listen, these cards would never be what they were if it wasn't for Joey. And what I said early on is that, listen, I needed somebody to get on my heels, to take this to the next level. And, I'm not discounting Rob. I'm not discounting Greg. I'm not discounting Ray. But Joey's the one that basically took the yep. So
right. But in saying all that, I'll say this right here, and I've told my wife the same fucking thing. That guy in fucking Orlando, that's the fucking guy.
So Joey, the day I decide to sell off my my collection, I need to contact you first with my Wrestling All-Star set. Is that correct?
Boy, listen. I'm going to point out something real, okay? And David knows it, okay? This guy's rich. This guy is fucking... No, this guy's rich, dude. This guy's rich. This guy don't have all that shit that fucking everybody else is bitching about. This guy is rich. If you want to make that money, if you want to fucking make that money, holler at your boy, okay? Now, in saying that, I'll be completely clear. Dave is the king. Dave's the king, dude. Dave has done more for wrestling cards than most, okay? He has. Let's be real, dude. Like Dave, constantly being in the PSA boards, pressuring. Like he's done so much thankless shit, okay? But in saying that, one day, your boy's gonna catch him. I'm going to because it's already been written. It's already been written. It's already happened. He doesn't think so. That's okay. That's okay. He knows. He knows, baby.
Well, Joey, the real problem is I'm still the champ, and
right now.
So the bottom line is you're gonna keep breathing down my neck, and I know it. But we're this has been you guys will die because see a lot of this is new to people. Joey caught me in the '83 set for about a minute, and
2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes, and I was on the Stairmaster, and I said, "Oh, you can't be serious." So I snagged the PSA 10 of Mike Sharp. Said, "Too bad, bitch. I'm back in first."
They don't know.
All right, guys, we should probably wrap it up there.
Good times.
This was fun. I mean, I could listen to you guys go back and forth about. I just want to see that one card that you both want come up so we can just all watch and see what happens.
I will always win.
I've heard that rumor.
Always.
But we appreciate all you guys joining us, and everybody have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, guys, for having me.
All right, we're now joined by Mike Summer and Steve Bowtie Bryant. Welcome, guys. We have a couple questions for you. We're celebrating the end of the year and a little bit of Christmas joy, as you can see with our fluffy little hats on here. So go ahead, Anthony, get it started.
Yeah, hey, I want to just tell the wrestling card community in general that we had a lot of different people that we've had on the past year. These are two of our former guests that we had. We want to say thank you to you guys for agreeing back in the day to come on our podcast. Steve, I believe you were the first podcast that we did. And we were really appreciative that you came on, and there's been a lot of other people that couldn't make it on because of work schedule and conflicts and everything like that. But I just want to give you each a quick chance to give a shout out to people that you want to wish Merry Christmas to, and your thoughts going into this holiday. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, well, it was an honor to be asked to be on your podcast. I mean, back when I was, producing those sets of trading cards back in '92, I definitely never would have foresaw this, But
Yeah.
It was pretty much just for the love of wrestling, and I definitely want to wish a Merry Christmas to all those wrestlers in Middle Tennessee that were on the trading cards and that were going to be on the next set that never got done, and I really appreciate all them, for being willing to sign the release so I could do the cards in the first place, because the printer would not have printed them without that. But yeah, it was a wild ride in wrestling, and of course, as you know now, I've got my own little entertainment business where I do music bingo and karaoke, and produce different live events. Like I got a Christmas event going tonight, so I'll be headed to that as soon as we get off this podcast. Already in the car, ready to go. So.
Gotcha. What about you, Mike? Who do you want to give a Christmas shout out to?
Oh, I'd say, first of all, I'd say a shout out and thank you and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to my friends and family who kind of supported the whole Wax Pack Hero card shop podcast, blog, all of the stuff that I've done card related. I wouldn't be able to do without the support of my friends and family. So I want to definitely wish all of them a Merry Christmas and say thanks for all that support over the year. And I'd say the same thing about the hobby community out there in general, right? The people that I interact with at shows and when I was running the shop that would come in on a regular basis and interact with everybody from a content perspective online, the people who've been guests on my show, the times that I've had a chance to get to meet people like you guys and come and be guests on your show. All of the hobby community has made this whole collecting journey that much more fun. It's a whole lot. You can do it by yourself, kind of, buying and selling, keeping your collection to yourself. But when you have others out there that you can interact with, go back and forth with online, share some of those experiences with, it just makes it a lot more fun. So I want to also say Merry Christmas to all of my hobby friends out there in the online hobby community.
Cool. Hey, for both of you guys, looking back at 2023, from the wrestling industry in general, whether it's collecting or watching or just the whole atmosphere of professional wrestling, what did you take away from 2023 as an individual and a fan? What do you think, Steve?
Well, I've noticed a big increase on the wrestling figures that are coming out for a lot of the independent guys or a lot of the older guys that never did get figures and all, and it seems like there's abundance hitting the market now. And I picked up some pretty cool ones like Tony, for instance. I mean, who would have ever thought you'd have a figure for him? But I mean, I love it. And even got to go down there and get it autographed. Made the trip to Nashville, so that was cool. And then there's the guy down in Pulaski that has that kayfabe cave. He actually has an uncut set of my trading cards, and he's been going around getting the wrestlers to autograph it. So that's pretty.
Oh wow!
So yeah,
how many? How many does he have? Do you know from the set that are autographed?
I don't know yet. I've been seeing him post them online of different ones. I can think of at least half a dozen or so that he's already got, but he's still working on it and trying to get the ones that are still alive. Some of them passed away, but the ones that are still alive, he's trying to get them autographed. So that's going to be pretty awesome when he gets that done.
Do you think that some of those guys, Steve, that didn't have figures before, that are still around, that they have figures showing up now, do you think some of them are like very excited, very appreciative? I mean, they didn't have that back in the day. I mean, now it's like they're front and center. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think they really are excited about it. Especially it's like, it seems to be, kind of late, but at least it's, better late than never is what I kind of think.
Right. What about you, Mike, for 2023?
Things that I've learned or things that I kind of observed. Is that what you're?
Yep.
I think some of what I've observed is, man, there was a lot of drama that unfolded within the wrestling card community, right? We, the shift from Topps to Panini was starting to hit its stride. We had Upper Deck and Panini both putting out rival products for their, factions. And I think that was positive, but then we had Fanatics step in here in the second half of the year and kind of turn the tables again within what we're going to have going forward from a collecting community. So we had all of that going on, but then I think there was also, people like me who, as cards were getting established and we had this kind of new era of modern wrestling cards coming out, you had people like me who started to understand, you know what? I can completely stay out of this modern drama and I can focus on some stuff from the 80s and 90s that connects more to my primetime wrestling fandom. And that's okay. I don't have to chase all of these new shiny things. I can go back and get some of those older vintage oddball food issue type of things that I love to focus on. And that's okay. And I think we had a growing number of wrestling card collectors who started to come to understand that there's a lot of different ways to enjoy wrestling cards and wrestling card content.
And none of it's wrong, and you can do it the way you enjoy to do it. I felt that way too this year. I was able to finally get the 92 Merlin, the black set and the yellow set. And I love those cards, and an opportunity. They don't show up like as a complete set very often. Like I've looked on eBay and, during the Twitter Monday Night Wrestling card thread, somebody from over there, the guy that does the Tweet Wrestling channel on YouTube, Kevin, he had a set of them and he got them right to me, and I couldn't have been any happier. I love having that set. That's probably one of the things that made me the most happy buying wrestling cards. I bought some of the new stuff too, but I love that early 90s to mid 90s stuff just is a sweet spot for me, and I'm really happy to get that. So definitely a good time picking that stuff.
Hey,
up.
Mike, I just sent you an email link. Can you send that out? There's an individual that wants to jump on. Just so everyone that knows, we're taping this live, and we got people that are coming and going. So we got another individual that's going to jump in this crew with the rest of us. So I just want to give everyone a heads up that that's what's going on right now. I would say, Mike, in reference to the thing about the collecting, one thing I've noticed now, it seems to me like some of their older stuff is even starting to be able to be grabbed at some reasonable prices. I think by and large there might be a lot of people that were like, okay, I'm focusing on the modern stuff at the expense of some of their older collections. I don't know. I watch eBay almost every day. There's certain things I'm looking for my own collection and so forth. And I see that, maybe wrestling cards in general, or some of it's coming down a little bit, being a little bit more affordable. What's your thought on that?
Yeah, I think there's some of that. There's a few of the items that I was able to get that once I kind of got them, I haven't been following quite as closely, but there's a few things that I would say they're not modern, but they're not vintage either. They're kind of that mid 2000s range that I was starting to look into over the last few weeks. I was, some of those early Topps Heritage cards were some of the first Chrome cards that Topps created. And I was like, these could be kind of cool. I wonder what these are going for. And I had a couple of the singles in the past, and I was noticing that the value of some of those singles were coming down, that you were able to pick up some even refractors and some of the X-fractors of some of those kind of mid 2000s Topps Heritage Chrome cards for pretty reasonable prices. And I feel like when I was looking a couple of years ago, they had kind of spiked even higher, kind of along with everything else. But that's what I've noticed is maybe come down a little bit, and I was surprised was as affordable as it is.
There he is.
What's going on, everybody?
Hey, Pete, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on your show.
Hey, we're doing a quick show, for the end of the year, Christmas type deal, and I already asked these guys a couple questions, so I'm gonna throw them at you. First thing is, we want to give you the open mic to give a shout out to Christmas greetings, holiday greetings, to anyone that you want, whether in the industry, family, whatever. So go ahead and who do you want to wish Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to?
Oh, I gotta wish a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all my fellow card collectors out there. This year's really been a great year to get to know a lot of people. Guys like yourselves that I didn't get to know as well before, and it's been a lot of fun. I've had a great year. And, I wish you all the best for 2024 and Merry Christmas.
Thank you. And then the other question I asked these guys, that way you can get caught up, was 2023 is kind of come and gone. From your own perspective within the industry, whether it's collecting, the wrestling standpoint, or just being a fan, what was your takeaway from 2023? The good, the bad, the ugly, whatever you want to put out there. What are you going to remember from 2023?
Well, there's certainly more cards now than there ever has been. Every company in the world has jumped on the bandwagon and started making cards now. Whether that's good or bad, it can't be a bad thing that there's more things to choose from. Whether you like something or you don't like something, I think it's great that there's more out there. Certainly, I think personally, AEW has really, to me, has dropped a lot. I think that was like the big company that was on the rise, and it's seemingly just not what it was a year ago. And I hope that changes, because I have a lot of friends that are wrestlers. It's great to have that option out there for a lot of people, and I really hope that they can turn that around and get going again. TNA coming back, that's a great thing. I think if more people can see that, they've been putting on one of the best products out there in a long time, and I think if more people can see what they're doing, great for them. But, the more wrestling out there, the better. I think WWE is obviously killing it. Who would have thought that CM Punk coming back would do what it has done? And they have a lot of eyeballs.
I'll say from my perspective as a fan, I love it. I love the drama, everything that CM Punk brings. Right. Some people don't, but to me, what's wrestling without the drama? And I think it's great that he's come back. But go ahead, Pete.
I've said it a couple of times on Twitter that the Attitude Era. I started watching wrestling in '85 with Hulk Hogan. But the Attitude Era was the most exciting for me, because between the WCW and WWE, you didn't know what was going to happen. Like there was a surprise all the time. And I feel like with AEW, Tony Khan is like, you have to watch because something cool is going to happen tonight. And WWE brought back the biggest surprise at the end of the show, after the show was over, with nobody knowing about it. And that, whether it was CM Punk or anybody else, is what I miss about wrestling. If you turn it on and you just not know, like talking about it the next day, oh my gosh, did you guys see? You have to watch it. You can't wait to watch a stream, a few days later. You have to watch it live so that you see what happens. And that's exciting. I think, with Vince McMahon being out of the picture and Triple H actually getting to run it, it's been really exciting. And I think as a fan, it's great. It's been awesome.
One thing you mentioned was TNA. I'm really hoping that something comes about where they start making some good card sets again. Something in packs. I would love to see a new product where you're actually being able to buy boxes, not just a box set per se like they did previously. But
their cards were something really nice. The cards that they made, even though it was just a set, were really well done. And I just hope they come out with something else again. I loved, when they originally had the box. If you bought 3, you got one of each autograph card. You were guaranteed it. So it's like, okay, that made me have to buy more. But I hope they come out with something sooner than later, because their cards have been great.
Yeah, what's interesting, I've been watching eBay, just looking to pick up sets and stuff like that to break down like I do, and those box sets, you don't find them at all, hardly on eBay for those TNA the last couple of products that they put out. You just don't find them.
Yeah, even the single cards. Masha Slamovich is my indie wrestler that I collect, and you don't find her Impact card. And there were 200 of them made, or 300, whatever it is, and you don't see it. So some people have them. I think they're all hoarding them up.
Definitely. Hey, so okay, let's go. Let's look forward. We'll start with you, Steve, because I know you started the last one. Going into 2024, from the wrestling perspective, what are you hoping to see in 2024? Whether it's like I said, the collectibles, the industry, you as a fan, what do you hope to see in this upcoming year?
Well, I mean, he kind of just covered a lot of it there. If you get that element of surprise back, that would be awesome. You know, like you said, it seems that so much people already know what's going to happen, and they just watch it a few days later and fast forward through half of it. You know, so yeah, that'll be exciting to kind of get a little anticipation on what you're actually going to see, and hopefully TNA is going to keep rising up and show us something too. So that'll be good.
What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I think for me, what I'm hoping to see in, at least from a card perspective in 2024, is a return to regular production of cards, right? So that we get a consistent release schedule from Panini. And if we start to see, we don't know how the whole lawsuit shook out. There was a settlement, but we don't know what exactly that means yet. But if it means that Fanatics is also going to be able to start producing some cards in 2024, that between all of that, the product that Leaf is going to be putting out, what Upper Deck is putting out for AEW, that between all of that, I hope that we get a more steady or consistent flow of releases coming out instead of everything being all bunched up or having multiple months of drought between releases.
Yeah.
I think that steady flow is going to be something that is beneficial to the wrestling card hobby and the community, having something to be consistently excited about. Not all of those products will appeal to all people, but there'll be something for people to get excited about. And when people are excited about new stuff, oftentimes that starts to bring out the older stuff as well that people want to bring out and show off. And so I think a more consistent release schedule is kind of high on my wish list of what we could hope for in 2024.
I would piggyback off that, Mike, by saying I kind of wish that some of these indie circuits or some of these other organizations would do some kind of promos with kind of like what I called the food cards back in the day. I know Zima did stuff with New Japan Pro Wrestling a few years ago. I would love to see some new stuff come out this year that's tied into promotions like, I don't know. I'm very nostalgic for some of that old stuff. I love some of those issues that were released with promos with other companies, and I kind of would like to see that in 2024. What about you, Pete? What's your thought on going into 2024?
Yeah, that PBR set that GCW put out really brought back some memories from
that
back
was
in
cool.
the day.
Yeah,
that was pretty neat. I think that would be great. I love the idea of consistency. I mean, Upper Deck just came out with their 2023. In December, we made it. So if they can get on time, I think that would be great. I'm an indie guy. I like collecting the indie cards, so I hope that the trend continues. There's been some companies that have put out some questionable releases, and the amount of time that they're taking to put them out after they say they're going to put them out has I know for the people that I talk to, that's really hurt their projections on if they're going to pre-order stuff anymore, because these pre-orders are taking 6 months.
yeah.
And
Right.
I feel like people are just printing the cards now on demand instead of saying we're making 100 sets or we're making 200 sets and that's what it is. It's like they take pre-orders and then however many people order it, they buy them. And but when it takes 3 or 4 months to get your cards after you've ordered them, that really takes the excitement out of when they finally come in. So I hope that we get away from that, and that the companies that are going to put out the cards put them out when they say they're going to, with the permission of everybody that's included in the set, because that's a big thing too.
Yeah, I know the pre-order thing can kind of be a little bit of a downer. I know myself, when I try to order 3 to 4 indie sets every time they come out, one for my own collection, one that goes through my scanner, so if the cards get messed up, they're no loss, and then a couple for the website. And there's been times, I'll be honest with you, especially the last year, there've been times where I've thought I've ordered stuff, that was pre-ordered, and I didn't. And then there's times where I pre-ordered stuff that I didn't think I did, and then I reordered it. And it's very easy to kind of get frustrated with that when you don't really necessarily, to my own fault, pay attention to what I was all buying at the time frame. But yeah, you're right. You order something, you expect to get it pretty quickly, but when you're going on months and months and months, it can be kind of frustrating.
The TNT set took over 6 months from the time that we ordered that. before it came in, and they kept saying they were sending it. It never happened. That was just, and that hurts because the quality of the cards that they put out are really good. So it's just like, come on, guys, get your stuff together. If you say you're going to do something, follow through and do it. I think that would be the biggest thing going into.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out while you're talking about sets and stuff like that. One of the sets that recently came out that I think they're doing an amazing job, and I really hope they're going to continue to do well, and I really hope our collectors keep supporting was the latest Wax Terrier set. I just think their selection, the color, the photos, everything, those guys are doing a phenomenal job. And if you haven't bought those sets and you're a collector, please do them a favor and go out and buy their sets because they're doing a wonderful job. I know what they're trying to get accomplished, and I'm hoping that they finally get to the pinnacle where they're actually selling boxes of packs. So you're actually busting packs to put together those sets, which is, I think, what they want to go to eventually. So I'm hoping that gets there.
They got a great card of my buddy the Cheese in there. That's going to be one to have. So definitely go get that card for sure.
Congratulations on your championship run too.
Yeah, 23 seconds. I was the hardcore champion.
It was great 23 seconds though, wasn't it?
The best 23 seconds in a while.
That was a great video. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up there, and Merry Christmas to everybody. I don't know what else to say other than that, but thanks for being on with us, and maybe we'll have you back on again soon, and we'll talk some more about wrestling cards because we like to do that here. But other than that, Merry Christmas, everybody, and thanks for coming on.
Merry Christmas,
guys. Thank you for all you guys do. We appreciate it.